Okay, welcome everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dede. Thanks everybody for being here. So we're just doing a little chat before I hit record. And this is a live show on Ustream. So if you're watching the recording on YouTube, thanks for watching the recording. And if you get a chance, come on over to Ustream. It's free. Just have to sign in and then you can chat with everybody. And it's awesome and it's fun. Yeah. I told the girls before I hit record, I said I'm going to do a color book page and then I want to do some drawing. And I said the page I want to color shouldn't take too long. At least it won't in my head. And Lindsay goes, "It doesn't take long if you color it in your head." Yeah. Well, anyway, so in Serene, I picked out, and I'll zoom in a little bit more here. But in Serene, we have these beautiful girls. By Nicholas, and I can't pronounce his last name, Chandrawienata, but he goes by Nick Filbert on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. But anyway, I know this book is like out of print, can't get it and all that, but I have it and I'm going to color in it. so, so anyway, I picked out this angel and for a couple reasons, but for one reason is that the way I want to color it shouldn't take too long. So let me zoom in here. Hang on, let's autofocus. Hopefully that's good. And I need to, let me kind of make my cord here for my camera. I need to pin it up on my lappy so it's not moving my camera. There we go. So I think I'm going to color her. And so, what you added what to your list, Galena? I miss what you added to your list. I know she is pretty. She's a cemetery angel. She's a stone. So I know you probably can't see that, but she's a stone. And so anyway, my plan for her is first off, I think I'll just wait and do it, and you'll see what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you what I'll do. Then it'll be a nice surprise, right? Okay, so I'm going to get out I'm going to do my background first. And I'm going to do the background black. And I'm just going to do that in a black acrylic paint. You'll know this is one of my favorite things to do on backgrounds is paint them. Let me get some of the suns right there. There we go. I know. Can't wait to see how she comes out. Well, the way I plan for her is it's not going to take that long. Well, I mean, it's going to take an hour at least. Maybe, it's not going to be like 5 minutes. I don't mean that. But, all right, so let me find a brush here. Need kind of a new one that's not too flared out. Let's see. A couple. There's a nice flat one. We'll go with that. Okay. All right. I should probably put something under it. Just so, I don't care if it gets on here, but then I move the piece and it gets all over the place. So let's just get a piece of something to put behind her. Maybe some craft paper. Because that's what I plan on drawing on later. If I can flatten it out enough. There we go. All right, where'd my brush go? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to paint the background black first. So I'm not going to zoom in right now. There's a little bit of a shadow there. Let me see. Let me put this here for a minute to hold it because the paper will roll up. Let me move my light over here. See if that helps a little. Probably not, but there's a shadow there. That's a little better, I think. Okay, so I'm going to just paint the background black. If y'all have any questions, put them in caps so I know you're talking to me. See, so I can go right off the edge. And there's no water in my acrylic paint. If y'all have any questions, ask. 'Cause I get the same questions all the time. How come your paint looks so flat when you do your backgrounds? Well, the main reason is there's no water. Hey, McLinda. There's no water in my paint. Now, some colors, some acrylic paint, I just use, Americana craft paint. Some paints are more opaque and some more translucent than others. Like some reds, yellows, and like lime green, they're going to probably need 2 coats. Just because they're not as opaque as, and it's not the paint itself, it's the color. The pigment is just more translucent. So, but that's the number one thing. Again, some colors will need 2 coats. So I'm just going to work on this background for a minute, and it dries almost immediately. But you always want to make sure and if you do a wash, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do a wash of acrylic paint yet or if I'm going to use watercolor. I'm going to look at a couple different colors. So we'll see which one I'm going to do. But I forgot what I was going to say. Hey, Ray. So I wanted to do this and maybe do some drawing. I thought about doing a collage, like in the my abandoned book, but I don't like to feel rushed with that. So I always want to make sure I have a good day, full day to do something like that. I mean, I can usually get one done. I'm moving the paper out of the way so I'm not smearing it all up underneath. But it does dry fast. You had some bleed through. What paper was it, Elizabeth? What book? Even my Bennett Kleins. I mean, there's been 1 or 2 occasions where I've had a bleed through with acrylic paint. Now, the thing is, guys, remember, like with watercolors, it's the water that pills up your paper on thin paper and will go through. It's because of the water, not the paint. So what book were you using, Elizabeth, that it went through? Seasons? Oh, I can't believe that. I mean, I believe you, but you must have had some water in there, or just, I don't know. Seasons is thick. I've never had acrylic paint, even watercolor, go through those thick books. And this is almost a cardstock. I'd probably say, I don't know that it's maybe 90 weight. This Serene, or Serene, however you want to pronounce it, is a pretty thick paper. So, hi Jen. I'm just using an angle brush. An angle brush is my favorite because it's so versatile. You can get a point, you can get a side, you can get a flat. So you can just get so many areas with an angle brush, because you just twist it and you got a flat area. You twist it and you got an angle area. You can get a little point, So, yeah. A blender medium? Oh, I don't use any of those. I know that if you use, and it probably depends on the paper too, if you use like, mineral spirits, odorless mineral spirits and Gamasol stuff, that can go through. Yeah, I don't use any of that. I just put gesso on one of my color book pages for the first time last week when we did that test. So yeah, I just go with the paper for the most part. Although I did that watercolor pop manga girl with it being gessoed. But that, I think, as far as I know, other than a few tests, that was the only time I've ever clear gessoed a page at all. I did. I'm glad it was on the bottom. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you always, especially if you're going to use anything like that, you always want to test on a back page or a test page in the book because every book is different. Every paper is different. You wouldn't think so, but it is. So you always want to test whatever you're using if you have any doubts that it's going to go through. And alcohol markers will even go through this thicker paper. So you always, and that doesn't really matter. I mean, I've done, I'll show you in a minute. The one of these girls out of his book with Copics and alcohol markers, and it went right through, but it didn't matter because it's a one-sided page, so I don't care if it went through. That being said, you want to put something behind it, or I take them out of the book so that it doesn't get on the next facing page, right? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that is usually what does it. Is you can't over saturate the paper. It's the water in wet water in uh, water medium. I'm not talking about alcohol markers. Alcohol markers will go through, but it's the water that is going through with your watercolor and your acrylic washes. So. Okay, I'm going to turn her over so I can come over here on this side. Because you'll peel the paper. I'm holding this down because this paper wants to curl, so it's kind of puffing up the background here. But I wanted to, after I did this, I said, well, you know what? I think I want to try to draw some different wings. So I'm going to get out some birds and some different kind of references and maybe draw some wings. After seeing this one, I'm not going to try to draw full on like this, probably, because that's time consuming. But I, wanted to just kind of sketch. Let's just say that. I wanted to sketch some wings. I heard you in my head. Don't scrub. I know, Elizabeth, right? I know. I try to, and I know I repeat myself a lot on the shows, but I talk out the process. So if I'm doing something that's important, I say it again. Because not everybody, I mean, you guys are here all the time, and you hear me say it all the time. But people watching the recordings, that sometimes they may not have ever heard me say, some of those things, and I don't want them to, say, oh, well, Dede, you use so and so. Well, I still get it occasionally. How do you get your paint so flat, and and all that. You guys are so cute. Oh my goodness. So yeah, let me be thoughtful here around her chin. Because I want you to have good results. I don't, I'm not like hiding any secrets from you on how to do things. I want you all to know everything so that you have good results too. I want everyone to have good results, whether they're coloring, drawing, painting, using matte medium in their collage. I always try to tell everybody everything. And also, if you're watching this recording, I do have a playlist. And in the playlist, there's a video. I think it's under art supplies, and I think it's called all my art supplies in coloring and collage. So if you haven't seen that one, then go look in my playlist. Maybe I'll try to remember to link it in the description. Don't hold me to that. I'll try to remember that, but it's in the playlist under art supplies. And so you can see everything I use. And, I'll mix it up. Like in the art supply video now, the gesso that I used the other last week is not listed in there because I just started using that one time, right? So that one episode, I used the clear gesso to do that pop manga face. But, so that won't be in my supply list. But, okay, so there we go. Let me take a peek here and see if there are any other. And again, she's like a cemetery angel. So she's like stone. You watched all, oh dear, and mine turned out great. I saw, yeah. Yeah, I saw it. I think I commented, didn't I, Elizabeth? Didn't I comment on it? Yeah, that one was the longest demo video I ever did. 10 episodes, I think. And you watched all of them, Elizabeth? Oh my goodness, bless your heart. Yeah, it was like 10 episodes. Okay, so now I'm done with the back. I'm going to move this right now, although this is the kind of paper I'm going to draw on after a while. But I just wanted it so that I'm not making a big painting mess on my desk because I can't see it if it's black. Okay, so here's the dealio. I'm not sure if I want to use an acrylic wash. And I don't know if I want uniform blue or slate blue, well, colonial blue, slate blue. I want a blue, but I'm not sure if I want one of those two. Or if I want a watercolor wash. So let me, whoa, bumped into my table. My Kuritakis, let me get a palette and see. Just get one of these. Get a baby wipe and clean this off. Not at the bottom by her elbow. You mean right there? No, there's her clothing is there. Looks like that's her sleeve. Her sleeve is going around her right there. Okay, but thank you. Okay, yeah, I saw it, Elizabeth. Sometimes, I don't recognize all the same name, although you have the same name, but you know what I mean? Different names. You go by different names here and there, and then I don't know. Okay, clean a spot. And let me get a water and some water brush. So I'm going to do a little test here to see which, let me get another palette, which thing I want to use. I haven't decided if I want a wash. It's going to depend on the color more than the medium. So I got two blues here. I'm going to just put out a drop and see which one I like. This one is they're Deco Art Americana Craft Paint, Uniform Blue, Colonial Blue. Oh, where's my slate blue? I love my slate blue. What's it called though? Let's see. I'm not sure where. Here it is. Blue Harbor. That's it. Blue Harbor. This is my favorite blue to wash down. It's the closest like to slate blue. I love slate blue. So I'm thinking that might be that one. And let me move these baby wipes. And I want to test out the Kuritakis here and see if there's any here that I like just as well or better. That's my water brush. All right, so let's see here. Let's do a couple little tests. That's a good one there. See, that's a pretty blue. Might be a little too blue. Okay, get a Kleenex. Let's test this one. And see, I can't really tell what they are because they're in Japanese, and also that's too green. That's too teal. So I'm just kind of, that might already be into the, oh, now, wait a minute here. That one's, let me add some water to it. That's pretty, but I think it might be too dark. Even watered down. I'm squeezing water here in the palette. I might just go, oh, I did forget some, guys. Look, I didn't get under the wing. All right, I got to go back and do that. Let's see, though. All right, let me get a little piece of test paper here. Where's my little, let's see. That, or, oops, don't want to use my water brush on my paints here. Let's water it down with the brush. Let's see. I'm really still liking this Blue Harbor. I think I might go with the Blue Harbor rather than the watercolor. We're going to do that. Okay, so just because of the color, not because of any other reason. Although acrylic paint will give your page a little bit more tooth than watercolor will, but it's not dramatic. It's not, it's not dramatically so. It kind of is dramatic if it's solid black like this, but an acrylic wash versus a watercolor wash, it still gives the paper a little bit of tooth. Either one, for the pencil work on top. All right, well, I'm going to go back to my black here. That's not my brush I was using. Where's my brush? I want my angle brush. Here we go. All right, so let me go back to the black here on the inside. Ooh, that's not the same brush. That one's got flared hairs. Oh, well, I'll just go with this one. So let's finish this background here. It just blended right in with the background here, and I didn't catch this little bit. All right. So if you're just joining me, this is the Serene book by Nick Filbert, is what he goes by on Instagram and Facebook. Hey Prisma, how you doing today? Hope you're doing well. I'm just coloring this angel out of Serene, and I'm trying to do kind of a quick, well, I say quick, we'll see. Once I go to shading and stuff, I never can promise anything because I get into it, and I need I don't have it, this is not my angle brush, so it's a little hard to get that point in there. Hey Packer Die, I saw your name, I didn't see you, but the kids get off to school. Good to have you. Okay. All right, so there we go. We'll feel better later today, Packer Die, after your appointment. All right, now what I want to do, I want to make sure my brush is clean, really clean. All right, now I want to add a little bit of water to my blue here. Now let me dry this real quick just to make sure. I don't want to smear any black paint. Eat a grilled cheese, Prisma. Eat a grilled cheese. Okay, let's make sure it's dry because I'm going to do a wash over this. All right, so I'm going to water down my, I don't know if that's going to be enough. It might be. I'm just watering down my acrylic paint here. Do a little test because you want it watered down enough that you still see. Let's see, where can I go with this? You want it watered down enough where you can make sure you still see through it, because you don't, if you get it too thick, you're not going to see your color book lines. Okay, you're just going to be painting over them. So you just do a little test, make sure you can still see. You can still see through it. See, that's still a little thick. Okay, I want this really watered down. And this is like a stone angel in a cemetery. Let me have a little clear water there too, so I want to make sure this is really thin. I just got too much paint out. There we go. And get a nice, and it doesn't have to be even because I'm going to do shading, right? But I want it to look like stone. Now again, don't, I can do a little bit extra scrubbing on this just because it's thick cardstock, but you have to be careful. Don't be doing like this a whole lot on a Ben Klein piece, out of the book, because you'll go right through it. It's like copy paper. And I did not gesso this, but ooh, that's a little, let me water that down. That's a little, where's a baby wipe? I got that a little too thick. I don't want to cover up my lines. There we go. Got to keep it thin. Okay, I got to water down my paint even more. I just got it really thick in the palette. There we go, that's better. So know your paper. Wait for it, wait for it. When you see me going over here, I'm just reaching for more water here, watered down paint. If you have any questions, put it in caps. Just always remember, if you don't remember anything else from today, do not go in here and start shading with color pencil until this is 100% dry. I'm going to use a heat gun, but if you don't have a heat gun, you better make sure this is 100% dry, or your pencil is just going to go right through. Okay, make sure that your wash is 100% dry. Put a little in the background, which doesn't matter what the thing I'm going to do with it, but, and even if I don't finish it 100%, I'll do enough of it so you see exactly what I plan on doing, where I'm going with it. Whoop, too much. I'm going to water that down real quick because I got that a little thick right there, the paint. You got to make sure it's washed, and you wouldn't think that, look, I've watered this down, I've spritzed this thing probably 10 times. You'd think that's watered down enough, but yeah, it still can cover up your lines if you're not careful. should we since she's I think that's green, isn't it? Isn't envy the color of green? Water down, water, water, water. And it doesn't have to be like all exactly the same. It's actually better if it has that little bit of a watercolor look. And that's why I like the water, you know, either watercolor or washed down acrylic washes. Because it has that like watercolory look. It's not just flat as opposed like to the background, which I do want flat. And I'll zoom in here in a minute as soon as I start shading. And we'll see how far we get. And then I can watch Chad a little better. Because when you're moving with watercolor or water, you know, wash, you got to kind of really keep your eye on where you're going so that it's connected and you don't have, you know, harsh lines. Okay. All right. Here we go. And if you want it darker in areas, when it's dry, you can also paint this. Let it dry and add layers just like you would watercolor or, you know, any kind of wash. All right, let me move this out of the way, clean my brush, heat gun. And this is the book I'm working out of, by the way, right here. Oh, I was going to show you on the, I keep these larger pages in this ledger book. Here's the last one we finished, this one. And we did her with alcohol markers, so you can see it went through. But the one I wanted to show you was this one. So I really love the colors in her. Okay, so back to drying this. Let me move this water out of the way, or this watered down paint. And it's buckling just a little, but not enough to bother me. But be aware, and it's going to depend on the paper, depending on the thickness of the paper, how much it'll buckle, if at all. This is doing it a little bit. Okay, so I can see a little bit of water came through here where I got a little heavy-handed with the water. But you got to be, I was scrubbing because I added it too thick. So be careful, don't scrub, and make sure it's 100% dry. Thanks, guys. I scrubbed a little because my paint was a little thick. Oh, that's still wet here. Hang on. Because you want it 100% dry before you go with pencil. Yeah, the book is out of print. The book is out of print. Okay, so let me just kind of see, that's still a little damp right there. Let me kind of fold out the edges. It, you know, wants to kind of curl a little with the heat. Let me just kind of turn it back. It flattens back out. Now let me continue drying a little. Oh, the ledger book or Michael's didn't have it? Yeah, it's over there in the mixed media section, Connie. At Michael's. 7 Gypsies makes it. So it's over in the mixed media section. Of course, every Michael's is different, right? What, anything to no, this is stone, so there won't be any glitter. This is stone. See, look, she's cracked. It's a cemetery angel. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is find, let me find my pencils here. I did get some new washi tape, and that's piled up over there. So. Oh my goodness. Alright, so let's see. I know I want my slate blue. That's Blue Lake. No, I really want my slate blue. Nope. It's in here somewhere, or I'll just dig another one out. Must have put it up. Hang on, let me get one out. That's not, it's blue violet. Hang on. Oh, the blue, that's in the wrong spot. This needs to come over. Well, it's got a kind of purpley, my purpley blues. All right, let's see here. Blue Lake and slate blue are so similar, but I might go with that. Maybe periwinkle. And maybe not the right shade I want. Periwinkle. There's blue slate. Let's see. Yeah, it's just enough of a difference. But I don't know. I'm kind of... might be leaning toward Blue Lake. And that one. And let's see. And then I'll need a probably indigo. Let's see, I got an indigo over here. My indigo, I keep a blue piece of tape around it so I don't mix it up with my black. But again, it may be in another place in the house where I'm coloring, so... let's see, do I need to dig out another one? Oh, hang on guys, I'm not looking at chat for a minute. No, there's an indigo. Here's one. Okay. All right. And then probably white. And I've had white sitting in here. Here's one. Oh, I see. I have another pile of colors on my desk. That's why I'm having a hard time finding some of them. All right. Let's move this off to the side. The water, the heat gun, and we'll zoom in a little. I do want to put something under here. This, you know, my working desk, even though there's like 15 pieces of paper taped over one another, it's pretty padded. But it's still kind of got a little bit of crunchy stuff on it, and I don't want any of that to come through. So I'm going to put her back on the book here, so that it's clean. All right, where's my, let's move all the paints off the desk and get my little bowl to sharpen. So if I missed anybody coming in, thanks everybody. Jilly, who else am I missing? Trying to re-chat and, hey, Julie Topaz, re-chat and sharpen. All right, so I'm going to start with the darkest first, which is the indigo. So I'm going to start with my indigo. I am going to zoom in a little more. And you'll see I'm still not done with the background. There's some little effects and maybe some stars or something. Maybe, I don't know, we might nebulization. We'll see. All right, let's zoom in. That's a little too close, I think. Probably right about there. Looks pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and again, I don't know that I'm going to finish the whole angel. Let's just go ahead and do her head right now. We'll see how far we get. Maybe we'll work out past her wings. So again, I'm using indigo blue, periwinkle, slate blue, and white for now. I don't even know if I'll need more than two, but oh, good, you got the stuff to make the zines. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to try to stay in camera here. And let me know if y'all think this is close enough. Now I'm going to take my time. I don't want to get the darkest areas too dark at first. So again, it's a grayscale, so you can follow. And I'm not bearing down at this point. I am not bearing down to get the dark blue. I don't need to. The tooth of the acrylic is like just pulling the pigment right off of the pencil. So I'm not bearing down because we're going to blend. So right now I'm just going in here and finding some of the darkest areas of the grayscale. And I hope you can see. Do I need to zoom in more? I don't know. Maybe one. I don't want to get it too out of focus. Let's get here. Let me put this over here for a minute. Okay. And remember, she's a stone cemetery angel. So I'm doing her all monochromatic. So if y'all have any questions or tell me what y'all are coloring or working on, it doesn't have to be coloring. We all do different things. Like I said, I want to try to get some drawing in today. We'll see. I'll make a separate, it'll be on a separate video if we do some drawing. And there are cracks all over her too, and I will accent those, but I'm not going to do it right now. I want to get all the shading and blending done, and then I can go back in and do all the little cracks on her face. And I'm just kind of working all over the piece. Kind of remember where you're going, so you can kind of tell where you've laid down the darkest blues. But I thought this might be a way to color a page in monochromatic because it means, it's kind of supposed to be that way. You like monochromatic, Marilyn? The blues, yeah, they're indigo, periwinkle, blue lake, and white. So you see how far I can hold the pencil back. I'm not having to bear down. I'm trying to get all around her face here first and just kind of pick up a little bit of the... Because you can always add more. It's hard to take away. So, Pat just finished that. I saw that, Pat. Pat did a horned headpiece with her daughter for a festival. I saw that on Facebook. Jilly's coloring in Hannah Carlson's Seasons. Amanda just finished coloring the Cyclops in Mythomorphia. Jen is coloring in Fairy Tales by Emily Oberg and Beauty of Horror. I saw that. I saw your recent videos, Jen. Yeah, Jen is reading with pugs if y'all like more color book girls. And she also has an awesome Facebook group. I belong to just a couple now. I left a whole bunch of my color book groups on Facebook. But I follow Jen's, of course, Bennett Klein's. I am in the, how do you say it again? Oh, hang on, where's my book? I just had it here, hang on. The Zimyasnova group, Tomislav Tomic, I'm in that group. And I follow Jen's. I don't really post in Jen's, but I follow it. Lindsay is coloring a complicated picture in her head. Good, good. Jamie finished an acrylic portrait last night. Oh, okay, Jamie. Do we follow you on Twitter so we can see your stuff? I mean, I might, and I just don't. Different people have different names on different platforms, and so sometimes I can't keep up with who's who on which one until I get to know you. So, Connie, lots of cool postcards in Anamorphia. Jane, have I seen the new Bennett Klein? Which one? He comes out with one, I think, every month. I think I have number 5 is the last one I'm caught up to. So, and Bennett Klein also has, does he still do the Friday freebies, guys? I don't know if he still does. I don't print them out once in a while, but very rarely. But he does have the Friday freebies, or he used to. I don't know if he's still doing it. Do you know, Jane, if he's still doing the Friday freebies? So again, I'm just kind of concentrating on getting the very darkest. And I can always go back. The reason I'm doing this is so I can blend it. Pull it out. Pull some of that indigo in with the other blue. But I'm just kind of doing a little at a time here till I see how, and that's her wing behind her head there. So that's going to need a little bit of a shadow behind her head there. That's like the point of the wing on the back side of her, I believe. Yes, I did watch Janet's recording, where she showed the zines and her little dangles, the Zentangle like type dangles. Not Zentangle, it's dangles, but yeah. Dangle doodles, is that what you call it? Dangle doodles. Buttons fussy cutting, some ATC stuff. You think he's still doing it, Jane? Brenda said, yeah, he still does the Fridays. Yeah, if y'all want to follow an awesome group, Bennett Klein's group is awesome on Facebook. Everybody's so kind, and it's just a good group. But, it's just for Bennett Klein stuff. You don't post other people's stuff there, Like Jen's, you can post, depending on what things she has going on, post different things, If you join a group that's just specifically for that color book, then you only post their stuff, obviously. I guess that goes without being said. I think I have Epic. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. I might have Epic. Trust me, I have plenty of his stuff to color. It's not like I'm ever going to run out. With his first 6 books and the animals, wild. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm never going to run out of his stuff to color. You're doing it in your head too, Prisma? Well, thanks everybody for watching. If you're watching the recording, I appreciate you being here. All right, so I'm gonna stop on the Hubster makes fun of me when I say that. Or big ol'. It was a big ol'. Well, how big was it? big old. And his sister, he loves making fun of his sister. She really has some southern uh, sayings. Characters, yeah, I think I have characters, Jane. I have characters. I don't have May's. I don't have May's book. So, yes, Jen. Yes, highly encourage enabling in her group. All right, so I'm going to stop here and I'm going to go with my slate blue. Or do I want it Perry? Well, let's go with slate. I'm going to go with the lighter one. I might not even need periwinkle. The slate and the indigo blended might just be enough. And then let me hold indigo too, because I might need indigo at the same time. So indigo and then slate, and I'm just going to kind of probably go back and forth to blend. And I want to keep a lot of the light areas now. See how it's all kind of watercolory look from the wash? I don't want to lose all that. Although in some of these tight little areas, you're going to lose it. But I mean, like in some of the, like her hand here, her neck, her face, you know, I am going to accent some of those little cracks. But I don't want to lose all the, you know, streakiness, if you will. That makes her look like a stone. So I'm just going to go back and forth between the two. So I can add a little bit more where I need to, and then pull it out with the slate blue and kind of blend like that. Okay. All right, so y'all tell me your favorite pencils to use. Y'all know I love a lot of pencils, but I'm just, because I've used Prismacolor for so many decades, I like my Prismas, but now that everybody's, you know, got their favorite pencils, let me see with a little white. I really don't want white in here much. If I might want to do a little blend with white, but I don't really want to get anything white on here, like because shiny, because. So I just want to use maybe the white to do a little blend, but I really want to keep it blue. And the indigo, when I blend the indigo, it's really a little bluer than I really want. I really want it more of, maybe I should have stuck with periwinkle. Indigo's it's a little, once I start going over it, can you see? Once I start adding another blue to blend, it's very vibrant blue. Jen likes her polys. Connie likes Prisma and Derwent Color Soft. Prisma likes Prisma. Oh my gosh. Prismacolor and Poly. So far Poly. A lot of Polychromos and Prismas, it looks like. Everybody's saying Polychromos and Prisma. Jane likes Holbein. I call them Holbees. Holbees and Loomies. May likes Prismacolor, Derwent ink tints. Yeah, I would call it ink tints pencils, even though I would call them more on the watercolor type. I mean, they're ink, not watercolor, but you know, we have to add water to them. Well, I guess you don't have to. I guess you don't have to add water to the ink tints if you just wanted to use them dry. Jilly, Prisma, and Tricolor. Nope, I haven't tried the Stabilo. Carbothellos. Nope, haven't tried those, Lindsay. Okay, well, thanks everybody. All right, so I'm kind of debating here on my color choices, but I'm rolling with it. And I didn't want to do her gray, you know, stone, gray stone, which is really the color she'd probably be more than blue, but I didn't want to do her gray. So I purposefully went for blue. But she's a little on the bright blue, but that's okay. Well, you know, it's okay. Between coloring pencil and pastel. Oh, okay. Well, see, I don't care for pastels. So, do they smear? Do they smear, Lindsay, like pastels do? And there's a lag, so I have to wait for the lag to catch up. So anyway, I chose this one today because I thought I could color it kind of. You know, I'm probably not going to finish it, but I can do enough of it for you to see where it's going to go. Not as much as true pastel. Yes, yeah, and I don't like to do anything that's going to smear much. I mean, I'll do it occasionally, like a Conti crayon or something like that. Not on color book pages, but when I'm drawing. I just don't like fixative. I don't like the smell of fixative. I just, you know, I just don't. So I just don't like to fixative anything. So I usually avoid doing things that need fixativing. Although, you know, back when I was doing a lot of, you know, life drawing, you know, take classes and go to, you know, life drawing, usually use Conti crayon or something that's, you know, chalky or chalk or, you know, because you've got to draw fast and big. But I don't care for it. Yeah, dust. Yeah, I don't like the dust. Going back to the dark blue here. Watch one guy color a peacock with ink tints, and he never added water. Oh, okay. I did quite a bit of ink tints in that. Is it the Polish Girls book? I forget her name right now. Okay, so there's all these little cracks. I'm just kind of following along with them. Go back to the indigo. Just going back and forth between these two colors at the moment. You like the, how do you pronounce that button? Sooty Styles? Is that how you say that? I don't have those either. I just don't find a need for any more pencils. Not, I mean, you know, I'm not a I mean, I like to demo things, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a, what do you call it when you do a lot of products? Reviewer. I'm not a product reviewer. So, I mean, I'll do reviews of things I have, but I don't get things just for the purpose of reviewing them. What's the guy's name? The that does. He's a UK guy, I think. I think he's UK. Maybe he's. I'm pretty sure he's in UK. That does the reviews, the product reviews. One of y'all know who I'm talking about. I found him through Laura. I found him through Anxiety Art Adventures. He does the product reviews out of UK. And they send him stuff to review. And I mean, he buys stuff too, don't get me wrong, but I think people send him stuff to review. The the Art Gear Guide, I think. I think it's Art Gear Guide. I don't think it's Guy. Could be Guy, but it's Guide, I think. Art Gear Guide. Although he is a guy. All right, so can you see how her face is coming along there? Then now we're working down to her neck. Need a little bit more dark up in here. And you can just kind of, work. You don't have to get every little bit right on, you can go back and forth. You see a little spot you need to accent or pay more attention to. Marco Raffines sell their pencils under so many different names. Ah, okay. Thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, maybe that's what it is, Jen. I don't know. I don't have his link right here, but yeah. Art Gear Guide. Guide. Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys. And he doesn't post. He posts maybe once a week or something like that, if that. Maybe every 2 when he has something to review. I really like that pencil holder thing he did, but I don't have room for that. I don't have room for that big pencil holder. I'd love it, but I built my own right here, but as far as like holding all those pencils, they're like stacked out. It's so cool. And if you have room for it, that is an awesome way to, set up your pencils if you're just always sitting at your desk. Now, if you're moving around, though, you go from room to room, or you're not just sitting at one desk all the time, then, this is just my way to do. I just bundle them by color. Oh, so they're kind of like the hero markers, the pencils are. The Marco Raffines, and they're all just different names like the Who's are. Yeah. The Who's, the Oh-Who's, what's that, Touch 5, all those. They are just pretty much the same but under different names. Yeah. I'm being real gentle on the cracks on her face. I want it to be, soft. I'm just going between these 2 pencils. Prisma says, I hope I'm this pretty when I've cracked. Oh, girl. Yeah, oh, Miss Prisma, one of the pillars of the Poet Corner. Okay, let's continue down here with all these little flowers. Maybe I need to get out the chat pack, ask some chat pack questions. What do y'all think? Everybody seems to like the chat pack. Yeah, that pencil. Yeah, it's a huge pencil holder. It's very cool, but it's like a stepped out, stacked out pencil holder. And I don't know. I guess you can buy different tiers, so you can have a lot of tiers of it. It's very cool. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. I mean, you don't do it right now, but yeah, some of the crack. Hey, Colleen, some of the cracks were already there, but I'm extending them. I've extended some out, and I put a couple extra ones on her neck there. So I'm just kind of pulling them further than they are. You know, like there's one there, but I kind of just pulled it out a little further. So yeah, the cracks are there. Go around her hand here. Just adding some little bit of the indigo here. Not bearing down. If I need it darker, I'll go back later like that, you know. But I don't want to get it too dark at this point. And speaking of point, let me sharpen. Don't despair because the cracks are there. Okay, we got a little limerick here, little what you call it? Don't despair because the cracks are there because Dede has them under repair. I hope you write all these down. I want them all, Prisma. I want all your little, if you call them a limerick or whatever. I don't know. Limericks have to have 5 lines? I don't remember. I love it. I love it. Let's go down here with a little bit of, I want to add a little bit of the indigo first so that I can use the lighter, slate blue to pull that indigo out and blend it. And I want it all consistently the same blues, so. And that the indigo does change the color. So if I don't have any indigo there, when I pull out the color, it won't be the same shade of blue. So, and then if I need darker areas afterward, just go in there and let me sharpen again. Yeah, Prisma's good at this, that rhyming business. So you can see it takes a little bit of time, but it's not near as time consuming as doing a whole bunch of colors, right? And the monochromatic look works with this piece because she is a stone angel and would be, monochromatic. And I didn't want to do her gray, so that's why I went with blue. All right, let's get out the chat pack. These are my chat pack. You see how zoomed in I am. This thing's only like, it's tiny. Yeah, I'm really zoomed in. Here's how, my hand there covering it up there. All right, let's see. Let's just get a big stack of them out of the middle. That's usually what I do. And then just kind of, they're just little questions. Questions to spark conversation. Um, if snow, I think we might have asked this one before. If snow could fall in any flavor, what flavor would you like it to fall in? Oh, and he's gonna say chocolate. Chocolate snow. Hey, Lisa. Oh, I'm sorry you haven't felt good, Miss Lisa. You go a lot, so I never know if you're just not around, if you're just like, off with the family or what. If you don't tell us. Mint, marshmallow, peanut butter, chocolate, gingerbread, Lindsay. I like the smell of gingerbread. Cooking. I don't love the flavor. I mean, I'll eat it, but that's not my favorite. I like the smell. Wintergreen, snickerdoodle, Pat. Snickerdoodle. I'm trying to hold the corner down because I'm right in the corner. And I'm working on top of the book so that it's a smooth surface to work on. I don't know what my favorite flavor would be. Coffee? I guess I'd have to have coffee snow. All right, let's do our little arms here. I'm going to go back in there and add, some more contrast, some darker blue in there. Pumpkin, cinnamon. Yeah, I think I'd go with coffee. It's getting time for those of you that like the pumpkin spice coffees or whatever. They coming soon, I think. Don't they start? Is it closer to October when they start putting out the pumpkin spice coffees? Turn the page sideways to color in the corner. Yeah, I try to keep myself in the habit of keeping everything straight while I'm on camera. It's kind of like a little thing. I try my best. I mean, I did have to turn her upside down to paint that in earlier, but I try my best to keep it straight up for you guys. Sharpen. What flavor? I don't use any flavor creamers. I just use milk and no sugar. Is how I drink my coffee. Milk, no sugar. Strong coffee though, Colombian. Strong. I like strong coffee. Okay, so there's some cracks here in her hand, and I'm going to add just maybe a few extra little hairline cracks. Let's get around her hands here. Thumb. You already have it at Target, pumpkin spice. September. All back to the light blue. Well, slate blue. When someone else makes it. Yeah, when Jen from Australia visited, she brought her own. She likes her own certain kind of coffee. I don't remember what it is now. She brought it herself, but okay, let's go down this arm now. Very light touch here. All right, let me get another question. Get this dark blue down here. These cracks right here are already there. And I'm just adding feathering them out a little further. Thanks, guys. Okay, another question. Some of these are going to be too long for quick answers, so. All right, well, do you have a favorite quote or saying? And can you quote it right now? If it's one of your favorites, you should be able to quote it without looking it up. Sharpening. Do you have a favorite quote or saying? I do. I have one. Janet read it yesterday on my zine that I sent in that zine swap that Janet did a while back. I think it was Janet's zine swap. Anyway, she had the zine out. That's one of my favorites. But I want to hear y'all's first. Don't email me. That's not one of my favorites. I use it, but it doesn't mean it's my favorite. Don't email me. Yep, I have to use that sometimes. Don't email me. And I mean if you're mean. I don't mean don't email me just like a normal email. Do unto others, Janet said, that you'd have done unto you. Well-behaved women seldom make history. Book Nester. World peas. World peas. That's your favorite saying, Marilyn? World peas. Carol said, when you focus more on the positive things in life, you are less easily defeated. Jen said, there are two things you can't escape, death and taxes. She said her others wouldn't be appropriate for chat. I like outside of, now let me get it correct now, because now I'm reading everybody else's is messing mine up. Outside of a dog, a book is a man's best friend. Inside a dog, it's too dark to read. And that's Groucho Marx. Y'all know Groucho? Does anybody? Oh, well, some of y'all are old enough to know who Groucho Marx is. I missed what Azure said. If it's got I'm not going to read that one, Azure. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to catch a few of them. Okay, so Pacola said, you hear a voice within you say you cannot paint. Then by all means paint and the voice will be silent. Vincent van Gogh. Meow, hey meow, cat. If we're not supposed to dance, why all this music? Gregory Orr. Lena said, life happens when you are making other plans. Take your broken heart and turn it into art. Oh, I like that, Kim. Oh, I missed something. Went off. Sorry. Went off. So a couple of them just, the chat moves really quick. Button said, you're braver than you think, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And that's Christopher Robin DePoo. A frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his... Connie. Oh, you girls. Okay, so let's keep blending this arm here. It got a little dark, didn't it? Did it get a little dark in here? I don't know. Might need to brighten this baby back up. Alright, let's do this little bit down here. And see, some of this needs darker here. I need to go back in here, and add darker. Which I can go over the whole thing when I'm done. Go around every bit and get in there with some nice darks when I'm done blending. Bye, Amanda Jew. Your mom, Azure means your mom. Prisma, this is the real world. Not everything is served to you on a silver platter. Your mom. A lot of mom sayings there. Alright, let's do down in here. Around her waist. I did remember to do my nails today. I don't like not having polish on. Monday I forgot to polish them. Sometimes I do it while we're pre-chatting, but I completely forgot on Monday. Alright, now I'm going to go in here with the light slate blue. Next question? Okay, next question. I think we've asked some of these before. Alright, I'll do this one. I think we've asked this one before, but I'll ask it again. When people find out what you do for a living, what is the most typical question they're likely to ask you about your job? I can tell you I can tell you what they do when you tell them you're an artist, but I'll let y'all go first. So what's the typical question they ask you? And I think sometimes it's going to depend on who you say it to, because I'm running it through my head too. And sometimes a stranger is going to say something different than an acquaintance, or but it just said typical. Kiki, you must be in the healthcare industry. She says, why does healthcare cost so much? That's a Lindsay says they say that's a very boring job. Why do you do it? Lindsay. Okay, so Tam's a teacher and she says, "What age level do you teach?" Yeah, that would be a typical teacher question, wouldn't it, Tam? Isn't it great to have summers off? Christie's, I must be a teacher too. Uh, Somebody said they're a stay-at-home mom, and how do you do it? Hey, swing. How do you handle that not spatum? Missed something there. Mier says, isn't that hard on you? You deliver newspapers and work from roughly 8 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Wow, Mier. Brenda, so sad. I don't know how you do it. Kimberly says, the stay-at-home mom too, housewives. What do you do all day? A what? Karen, they ask you, Karen, what do you do? That they say, a what? Azure says that they say, oh, so you're the annoying person calling me? Are you a caller, Azure? Oh, okay, more. Don't get attached to the babies. Oh, how old are the boys? They must keep you busy. Oh, you babysitting. Yeah. How old are they? Yeah. People say I'm lucky to be retired, and I am, Lena said. Yeah, I know. People have smart aleck comments too, but and I get that. Okay, so you can see here where I think it needs to be lightened up a little. The sun went over the house, even though I do have it blocked. It is still a little dark. Let's lighten it up just a little, maybe right about there. Don't want to flash it out, but let's maybe just move the brightness up just a little. That's a little better, I think. You totally get attached to the babies if you work with babies. See, I love old people, and there's been times when I wanted to work with old people, and Hub's no, no, you cannot handle them dying. And he's right. He's right. I couldn't get attached to the elderly. And nurses, I mean, my daughter in LA, she's an RN. And I guess, you have a compassion for people, but you also have to be like, I don't know, I don't want to say detached. Is there anybody here that's a nurse? I mean, just, I wonder, how can you do it? And, I don't know. Got a lot of respect for the nurses, I'll tell you, especially, when you have one in the family and you hear the stories. Oh my gosh. Christy, when I was an accountant, people just said how boring. Well, I've moved so much. I've moved 30 times in my life, and I've probably had 30 jobs. Different things. I mean, I've had all kinds of jobs. My main career job was visual merchandising, decorating stores. But, throughout my life, I've had all different kinds of jobs, you know. Have to have a certain level of detachment. Yeah. All right, so what do y'all think so far? How's she looking? I think she needs a couple extra cracks right here. I just want a couple extra right in here, I think. And I want them to look like hairline, cracks here like this. Not like she's going to fall apart cracks, right? So I really like her face. Prisma was a CNA. I love working with the elderly, and you get attached. If you have a heart, it just happens. Yeah, I know, right, Prisma? Oh, and Kamor is a neonatal ICU nurse. Oh, 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 oh. All right, let me sharpen this. I want to get around her eye a little more here. Thanks, Lindsay. All right, let's move on to another question. Let me work on her eye real quick here, though. I think I lost her highlight. Might need to put a little dot of white in there. I think I covered it up. She didn't, it's not like a white, like life highlight, but she did have a little bit of light on the, you know how in pupils on statues, they're like, it's like a hole, you know? And so I got, put that back in there. Maybe she does have life in her eyes. Maybe she's a trapped angel. She's trapped in the stone. So you can see now what I'm going to want to do. I'm going to do this like here all through the wings. Now we're not going to have time to do all that here, obviously. I want to do some drawing today. But it's all going to be the exact same thing. Just like I'm doing here, it's going to go all the way. See, I've got to her hands here. I haven't done this yet, or this side of her body. So you can see the difference here to here. Thanks, guys. But I want some higher contrast in the darks. So I'll go back, and now that I've kind of got the blend going, you know, where I want everything to be a little blended. Now what I'll do is I'll go back with some darker, and I'm putting a little more pressure now because I'm not going to do any more blending right there. So now I can go in there and kind of punch in some darks. Can y'all tell there? Let me sharpen again. And prismas, if you push down, they can kind of crumble a little. So you got to kind of be careful when you're bearing down a little more than normal. But I don't do any of that bearing down bits until I just go back to get some darker darks when I'm finished all the blending. You can see where I'm doing the darks, okay? And I'm just kind of going in around certain, you know, some of the flowers and making some nice higher contrast. And so anyway, I thought about putting a glow around her with white or light blue. Maybe light blue would be better for a glow than white, you know? Like an aura, a soft aura around her. Bye, Jen. Thanks for stopping in. Just get some, picking out the darkest darks. The high contrast makes a difference. Not just with blue or, you know, whatever dark you're using. In whatever area, it's not all going to be monochromatic for the most part in your coloring. But you can really see the drama of the high contrast when you get back in there with those darks. it makes the light lighter. The dark against the light makes the light brighter. So I'm just picking them out there. So you can see this is where we started with this look. And this is what we ended up with. Can you see it? Watch, let me see where I can, maybe you can see where I'm adding the darker, really dark areas. And you'll just have to go through the whole thing. Take your time. Bye, Jilly. So after you do all the shading, you can go back in there and get the real dark contrast. And yet keeping the skin really light there. Okay, I gotta sharpen. How long we been here? Okay, I was going to do this for about 2 hours, so. We'll see how far we can get in 2 hours. Got about 25 minutes more or so, but I want to do an aura. Got a 2.5-inch museum art book for $50. Oh, what museum? Hi, Beth. What museum? Or is it just museums in general? Or is it like MoMA or... Thanks, Tam. Oops. See, I pushed down too hard and snapped the point. Snapped my point. Gotta take it easy here. You're welcome. Bye, Kenny. Have a good day, hon. All right, let's see. I need to do the aura around her. If it was Halloween, I'd probably put a mist over her whole body when I'm done. MoMA, yeah. Where she'd look like she was in a fog. I don't know if I want to do that right now, though. Well, I can't do it till you can't do something like that till you're completely done with the whole thing. Don't try to put a fog or mist over something until you're completely done, because you can't color around it. right? And so I'm just trying to work in a little area so you can see finished areas, you know, like this here. And this is where I've stopped, right here on her hand. So this still has to all be done. And of course the wings. I'll go ahead and do a little bit of the wings here. I really need to do this bit right here and then carry onto the wing. So let's do that. This still hasn't even had the light blue shading in it yet. So let's get the little bit of indigo in there. Enough to shade, pull out, you know. Yeah, that's my, when I went to the, you know, get clearance books at the bookstore, you know, you can get a lot of cool books for, you know, just a couple of dollars. And I get them and I'll cut them up for collage. And I remember one of the managers at the bookstore, not there anymore, but had a big stack of books. He goes, "What are you going to do with all these clearance books?" I'm going to cut them up and use them in art. And he kind of like blanched. Kind of got a, you know, a look on his face. And I said, "Well, let me ask you this. If you don't sell these clearance books, where are they going to go? What's going to happen to them?" He never questioned me again on my decision to use them for art. Well, that might be part of her hand right there. I'm not sure. The hand behind could be. Okay, I don't want to work on the sleeve right now. I want to go this way on the wings. I love books. Trust me, guys. I'm not a. I don't. You know, I'm a book lover. But you know, if they're going to end up in a landfill anyway, you know, why not recycle them? Okay, so I'm going to go all the way up the edge of this wing here. Trying to stay in camera. And I want to do the aura, you know, the glow, the aura. The aura, I guess you could pronounce it either way. Hey, Kat, anybody else I might have missed coming in? So I want to get this edge here. Then I'll go in here with the light blue and blend it out. I wanted to draw some wings or some birds and wings or things like that on some big paper today. It'll be another segment. It won't be connected to this one. Alright, so now I'm going to take my light blue. I need to do all in here, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and start with the wing. Oops. That one just crumbled off. This might be one of my old slate blues too. One of the older ones that kind of had some issues. I haven't heard anybody really complaining about the newer sets of Prismacolors breaking, but I have multiple different sets and I don't separate them. They're all in like together. So if I have one that breaks, it's from one of the old, but one of the newer ones that I've bought, I haven't had any issues, and people that say that they've bought newer sets haven't had issues with breakage either, so hopefully that's the case. So you can see how I'm doing that top edge there with maybe a few little cracks kind of coming across there too. If you're just joining us, I'm coloring out of Serene. It's the Nick, well, he goes by Nick Filbert, but there's his Nicholas F. Chandrawienata. And I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Don't email me. And as far as I know, this book is out of print now, but I still want to color in it. Hopefully, maybe, you know, he'll come out and reprint it. I don't know if that'll be the case. I also have Fantasia, his other book, and I've colored a little bit in that one too. So let's do a little shadow right there. Okay. So again, I'll need to go back in here and pick out some even a little bit more darks, but I don't want to do all that right now because I want to, you know, it has to be done to the whole thing. But I just kind of wanted to show you where it's going, you know, because this is a monochromatic. I think that if you do any kind of monochromatic, I think I've shown you some tips or some things to do, you know. Again, I'm about showing you the ideas, you know, not necessarily to finish a whole page. Although there's been many times I've done multiple parts to finish pages. But I really want y'all to get the ideas of techniques and stuff more than seeing me just color the just finish a page. You know, it's more important for you to get the techniques and the ideas. Right? Because we have so many color books we like to color in. Just do a little blending here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and back out. Let me move my little chat packs here. We only did a couple, but I guess that's kind of fun. I try to remember to put them in the back so we don't ask the same ones. All right, so let me back out here a little bit so I can do the... there we go. Maybe something like that. Okay, so now I think I want to take even a lighter blue. I don't really want white, but I think I might just go with, I think this is blue, light blue. It's 1086, so it's light, like I think it's the lightest blue, rather than going with just white. And if I don't like it, I can paint it back out, because this is just black acrylic paint. But what I want to do is kind of put, and I'll see if this blue is going to work for me, or if I'll need white. And I'm going to put a soft glow around her. It might need to be white. Let's go with white. Let's see. And like no pressure. I mean, if you want to feather this out, you've got to have no pressure. I don't know, maybe you can't see. Let's go ahead and zoom back in a little. Okay. You have a very soft, light touch. And I'm not sure if I want to connect her to to space or not, because I can connect her with the line, you know, with the glow feathering out into outer space. So you just got to do this. Take your time on this part. Very soft, soft layers. I'm just going right over the edge of her. See how I'm going on the edge of her and on the black? Just build it up slow. Build it up real slow. That way it'll feather out. Thanks, Kat. I really like this book. Very light touch. Build it up real slow there. And the reason that this is going on top of here is because this is acrylic paint. Remember, I've shown you all my demo before. If you color this in with black pencil, you cannot do this. This will not work on top of black pencil. Okay, it has to be paint. So we'll see how far I want to do this. I'm kind of thinking I want to kind of connect her to space, but we'll see here. Because I want it kind of misty and foggy around her. So, and then that will be like into the outer space at the same time. That's what I'm picturing in my head anyway. So if I do have a couple little, well, let me just keep working here. Let me pull this down here. I'm just kind of going all this way. I'm kind of going all this way, and the reason I'm kind of going all in this direction is because I'm probably going to pull this out and have some shooting stars and some nebula going on, and I want it all going that direction. But I want it very, very subtle. I mean, I'm not drawing any lines right now. I'm just kind of keeping it subtle because I'm not sure how far I want to go with it yet. But my strokes are going this way. They're all going the same direction, kind of like this. And I mean, you could roll it, you could circle it, but you got to just think of the edges. Do you want any circles at the edge? See how my edges just kind of end like that? They're not circular. They're just all kind of going the same direction. But that was a good question. Now I'm going to think about around her face. I'll do that in a minute. Let me go ahead and get some down here. Because I'm kind of thinking that most of the light would be here. There might be a little bit here, but I'm trying to keep most of it back here. Like this side of her would reflect if there was backlight. And I'm not really thinking that she's glowing, but maybe light's hitting her. I guess you could decide that too. Is the glow coming from her or just glowing around her, Do you just want some touch highlights on the edges there? Oh, I try to explain everything, believe me. If y'all ask me something, I do my best. I sometimes over-explain, but I'd rather over-explain and repeat myself than not have it explained well enough, I don't really want, if I put too much glow around her face, it's going to make her face look distorted, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to be careful around her face. And I really don't want to do this yet because I haven't done the shading. So I'm just going to concentrate on up here. So now what I think I want to do, let's see here. So I'm going to do a little bit of, just not overdo it here, just a little. I want it to go off the page. And if anything I don't like here, guys, I can paint it out. It's just black acrylic paint. But I'm thinking something like this. And then a little bit of blue in the sky part. And then some stars. probably fussy with this a little more, but right now I'm just going to kind of leave it kind of like that. And let's do a little bit with pencil and maybe Posca. I don't know yet. Oh, I know, it does. It does make all the difference, doesn't it? All right, so let's see. Just do a little glowy shooting star. And then maybe just a few here. And I think I'm going to do that with Posca. It's just easier. You could also splatter. That's a little more iffy if you got to make sure you don't, get it anywhere you don't want to. If you do splatters. I just want it subtle. Maybe just a little bit of a glow. Maybe a little bit of a glow. And I'll probably have those two, and I'll have another one over here. So I'll have three that glow, but I'm only going to have one that has a shooting star tail to it. Something like that. Okay, and I will take pictures of it when I'm completed. It's going to take me probably another couple hours. It took me 2 hours to do the background and the initial wash, which I used just some craft paint watered down. And then a couple, indigo blue and slate blue to blend. And so, yeah, so let me back out now so you can kind of see the whole thing. How far we got. So again, I've got probably another couple hours worth to do. Thanks, guys. To finish her up, and then I'll post her online. But yeah. But you can see the technique and the ideas and everything. Okay, so if y'all hang loose, I'm going to go ahead and save this video, and thanks for watching. If you're watching this recording on YouTube, again, we're coloring in Serene by Nick Filbert is what he goes by on Instagram and Facebook, but there's his name on the book. And yeah. So yeah. Okay, guys, so I'll be right back. Thanks for watching.